Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back at Married at First Sight Australia. We are on series 11 and we are now on episode 23. So now we see that Tori, Lauren and Sarah go have their chats. But before we get into this episode, as I always say, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. And let's get into this episode, shall we? So sometimes I believe that Lauren needs to come out of this situation when it comes to Tori and Jack, because she has her views about Jack and Jack has his views about Lauren, and he will always use Lauren as an excuse to get out of certain situations, because he will see Lauren as a person that he absolutely dislikes and she dislikes him. So whatever Lauren says should be taken with a pinch of salt. That's the thing that I think Jack will see where it's coming from, because Jack, as we know, accepts no responsibility for his behaviours whenever they're called out. So it's time for Sarah to speak her truth. Takes her a while to get there, but she does, in essence. So she says that Jack has been over flirty with herself. So Sarah says that he made the comment about the hottest wife on the show and said that it was Sarah. Then Tim and Sarah was going to the spa. She tells Dory that Jack then smacked her ass. And then when they're at the last dinner party, she says that Jack then kissed her on the neck in greeting. Tori looks hella shocked by it all. But at this point, I'm kind of like, will she actually listen to what Sarah is saying now, or will Jack be able to talk around? Because this is not coming from Lauren. This is coming from Sarah in regards to how Jack has been behaving towards her. So what does she have to gain by telling Tori this information? This is coming directly from her experiences with Jack. But the problem is that when Sarah is telling her, she's got Lauren there who she knows don't like Jack. And then when Sarah is saying that certain things have happened, especially when it came to the spa situation, she was with Tim, who she knows Tori don't like as well. There's no love lost between, like, you know, Tori and Tim. So will she take it or will she not? So I think, because Tori does say to the producers that she's still in processing mode. And I'll say this again, like I did in my last episode, whenever Tori says that she's processing information, means that she is not necessarily taking on board the shit that's just been said. All she wants to do is find out from Jack what he is going to say, and then she will act accordingly. At the end of the day, then she will act accordingly in that situation. She ain't processing shit. She's processed it when they've told her at the end of the day. She just wants to speak to Jack at this point. So the boys do return and Tori pulls Jack straight away for a talk, because again, Tori is seeing this as another battle that she has to go through in regards to her relationship with Jack. My thing is everything that pops off about Jack is always what Jack has done, always what Jack has said. So this ain't people coming left ways, right ways, sideways, straight ways to this woman. They're literally saying your husband is a problem. Deal with it in that scenario. I don't think they're saying, oh, you need to split up with him, but at least accept what a part of what it is that they're saying. Anyway, so Tori tells Jack the situation. And again, Jack's reaction is the laughing and the smirking. So Jack turns around and says he doesn't want to comment on it at all, which is a turn up for the books for me, because Jack is usually ready for a ready excuse. So I'm like, okay, are we going to get a different side of this then now? So Tori is basically telling him that she needs him to say something in regards to the situation. So in her VC to the producers, she's turning around and saying that she hasn't got these rose-coloured glasses on. And I'm like, my girl, if rose-coloured glasses was a bag that you had to carry around with you all day, every day, you would have that thing all the time. So then we essentially just watched Jack talk his way out of this one, because I knew it was going to happen. I absolutely knew it was going to happen. He says the situation was awkward and ridiculous. He basically tells Tori that he can't stand Sarah And the hottest wife comment, Jack knows he said it, but right now he's going to be pitting Tori against her friends. This is what he's going to do. This is the pattern that he's taking. He's literally, I'm sorry I'm saying it, he's literally at this point isolating Tori from her peers at this time, because he is wanting Tori to back him, to ride and die with him as his wife. Basically, that's what he wants, and he doesn't want her believing these people over him. At the end of the day, he's believing that he's the most important factor in her life. He's her husband. So what Tori is not seeing is that all the problems stem from her husband Jack. They all stem from Jack. Tori is showing her insecurities now, and I really honestly don't think that she will know when she's being done and dirty by Jack. So, point in case, an example, he tells Tori before he fucking walks off and says, well done, good job. And that is so she can then question herself and her reasoning into literally drawing Tim out into this conversation. So Jack is basically placing all the blame on Tori for this latest setback. He accepts no responsibility for his name always being thrown into situations. I said, because he's a smarmy fucking character. He really is. He really is. For me, he's a smarmy character, and that's my opinion. That is my opinion. So you hear Tori now in tears. Tori's thought processes are not her own. They're not. They're not her own. They're definitely not her own. And she has so much riding on this to make it a success that she will make it work with Jack come hell or high water. And all Jack gives this girl is a headache. Like, she has high anxiety every damn step of this experiment, because literally Jack is literally full on playing her like a fucking fiddle in this place and making her believe that it's her fault. So when she's going to him and saying to him, like, you know, what do you mean good job, and he's there standing there explaining to her that, you know, it's a good job because you've allowed X, Y, and Z, and da, making her feel like she's the one that's allowed this situation to grow and to happen, and then bringing it to him. So she's now decided that she's turning around and putting her lot in with Jack. She believes that her two friends are being malicious when they're saying what they're saying, and there's no evidence and no proof to what they're saying. So she's putting her lot in with Jack. I knew that was going to be the case. So don't understand why they bother telling her this shit at the end of the day, because Tori akins herself to an intelligent woman, but yet she can't read the signs of fucking bullshit that is Jack. Of the red flags that is Jack. But we shall move on. So you see Tim and Lucinda unpack what happened between them. Lucinda had a poem for Jack. She read it out. It was a good one. Tim really does listen to her and then hugs her at the end of it. And I'll say this, at times Tim can be really tactile with Lucinda. He really can. But again, I wonder how long this being openness of Tim and then bridging a gap of Tim is going to last, because there's going to be something else that will make this man put his barriers up again, like seriously. And I'm like, at this point, yes, okay, Lucinda's staying to see what can happen, because they're at a point where, okay, things that actually could look like they're working, it could move to the next level. But I really don't see it moving to the next level for Tim. And it's a shame for Lucinda, because she's an absolutely diamond of a woman. She really is. So then we go to Sarah and Tim. And basically, Sarah is a little bit pissed at Tim, because she wants to know if Tim will have her back when it comes to Jack, because at the end of the day, he didn't necessarily show much anger or much emotion when she was telling Tim what Jack had done and the fact that they'd broached this subject with Tori. In his VC, Tim was pissed Tim did seem adequately pissed at the fact that, you know what, it was a no-go area, and the fact that, you know, you've kissed my wife on the neck, you've made her feel uncomfortable in your presence. He doesn't really like that. But the thing with Tim is he isn't good on confrontation at the end of the day. And I think Sarah is trying to box and pigeonhole Tim into a position that he's not necessarily comfortable with. Yes, there's times and places where, you know what, I need to call you out on your behaviour on behalf of my wife, or stop a person from speaking to your wife in a certain way. But I think sometimes with Tim, he falls into that loophole of Sarah is a big personality. She will say whatever she needs to say, and I know she's got it, so that's why he doesn't necessarily lend his voice to certain situations, but Sarah wants him to lend his voice to it at the end of the day. So Tori, you see, says to Jack that he's lucky that she is a thick-skinned person, otherwise she would have been gone. And I said, I said she would not believe these girls. She would not believe these girls, because Jack has managed to do it again by bowling this girl over. So when Jack starts talking in regards to the situations with Lauren and with Sarah, in a roundabout way, that conversation is going like he wants Tori to cut ties with her friends at the end of the day. He wants Tori to cut ties with them, because he basically is saying it's a kind of a persuader ultimatum. You're either sticking with your friends or you're sticking with your husband. So Tori he's my man, and I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with him. So then with that, when she says that to him, Jack then gives her that little gift, that persuado gift, by saying that what she said is admirable and he appreciates it, and then gives her a kiss. I said they shouldn't tell Tori nothing. They shouldn't tell Tori nothing. And I said whatever else she needs to know, make her find it out by herself. So basically Tristan is very insecure this trip. And it does come out in terms of Jack literally going, when they're laying out by the pool, I think it was Jono, I think it was Tim, I think it was Lucinda, I think Tristan was definitely there, and he did have his top off. And Jack decides to make the comment that, you know, the whales are in today. Gross, absolutely gross comment to make, especially when everybody's aware of the body issues that Tristan has and how that makes him feel. For him to walk over there and say all the whales are out today, I'm like, who the fuck are you saying that to? Like, seriously, who the fuck are you saying that to and saying it about, knowing full well what you know about Tristan? And this is what I mean about Jack. This is what, he's a horrible person. He's a horrible person. So Tim turns around and Lucinda turns around and does another yoga session with some of the group. Now this is where Tim is quite funny. He shows his personality to everybody, and it is absolutely hilarious, and he has everybody in stitches. So then we get to a point where we see that Eden has basically received a text message from someone else, and it is supposedly a bombshell. So basically she's saying that she's holding a lot back. The producers do ask her what it is that she's holding back, but she won't say. So she's been giving her information that is literally making her feel sick with anxiety, and she doesn't know what to do, as it was basically a secret. I'm just like... And they carry this theme out throughout the whole of this episode, basically. They really do. And I'm thinking it's got to come to a time where Eden's got to say this, because at the end of the day, this person who's done the text messaging or whatever, I kind of had an inkling what it was to do with, and we'll get there, has taken away her peace by offloading their guilt onto her shoulders and given Eden that pressure. So now Eden's at a point where, do I tell people, do I not? How is this going to go about? She can't circumvent that, because if it's to do with someone's full relationship and true intention, she's gonna have to speak about it. The one thing I would say with this episode is that I think they left it too long in terms of this secret and Eden was holding. I think they should have got a point where she was literally telling Jaden something at the end of the day, because I was sick and tired of people saying to her, well, what's the matter? Are you going to say anything? She's like, no, it's going to hurt other people. People are going to see her in the wrong way. Her anxiety is through the roof. And I'm like, well, the only way you're going to let go of that angst is literally by letting the truth be set free at the end of the day. But I think Eden was holding it in to the point where, as we do when I speak about it in the next episode, we get to the dinner party. So she has a conversation with Jaden. This is just before the end of the episode. But before I do get to that, I'll just talk about like the final night. So basically, we know that Jack has riled and rattled a lot of cages in this place with these people. Again, Tori is still going to be there, tried, true and tested with this man. And I'll say, like I said in my last episode, she is constantly giving me single white females. But hey ho, we shall continue. So Tim speaks up. Sarah goes to jump in and Tim basically shushes her and tells her to hold on. So Tim turns and looks at Jack and says to him, basically, he's made his wife feel uncomfortable, and over the course of this experiment he's done a few things. And then Tim then calls Jack out fully. Basically, Tori is just looking off as to say, oh my god, here we go again. And I'm like, because it always begins and ends with your husband, my love. Like, all the fucking time. There's no time that this man has not been steeped in the essence of drama because of the shit that comes out of his mouth and the actions that he takes. But you want to stand by this man. You do that, but you got to accept Jack's faults as you do so at the end of the day. So Jack then decides to call out Sarah. So he's basically asking her questions. When did I tap you on the ass? When did I kiss you on the neck? Da 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 da. Jack's main answer is, well, he didn't realise that he was doing that, and it would have been a mistake or an accident if he remembered it correctly. I'm just like, why do you keep pitting yourself against this man when this man accepts no responsibility? This man is a version of Sarah, and Sarah is a version of Jack. That's how I'm saying it. Especially when it comes to the next episode, Sarah is a version of Jack. These people don't accept no responsibility in any way, shape or form. They don't accept no accountability in regards to how they behave, how their words are, X, Y, and Z. Then you see Sarah actually happy that, you know, Tim spoke up on her behalf. So Jack is using that as basically Tim was putting on a show for Sarah, so he allowed him that space to put on that show. So that's the reason why Jack let him have the win that he was looking for in front of Sarah, and basically saying that he apologized. This is why I don't take Jack's apologies, because they're not true. They're absolutely false, and he's doing it for a falsehood type of reason. Because in Tori and Jack's head, they honestly believe that these people are fucking jealous of them, and that's why they keep coming at them. No, these people are fed up with the fucking actions of freaking Jack every single time that man opens his mouth. That's what they're pissed off about, and every time they call him out on his bullshit and he don't like it, even to the point where Lauren called him out at the fire pit, and he's telling Lauren to shut up, you know. And that's the only time that Tori piped up and said, you know what, Jack, maybe you need to take a beat. And he was like, no, because I'm defending myself at the end of the day. Because Jack honestly believes that in his head, he can get away with saying anything to these women. He doesn't say it to the men, but he says it's to the women, and especially to Lauren. Because now we have the muzzle comment, and now we have him telling this woman to shut up. Because Tim pulls him over the hot coals by literally calling Tristan a whale, like making the whale comment. And even Tori was like, I can't be on board with that bullshit at the end of the day. And it's very disappointing that Jack has done this, especially as people said, him being a personal trainer. Because I'm kind of like, is this how you talk about your people? That you that you set your business with in terms of your personal training business? Is this how you talk about them? If they're a little bit overweight and they've come to you for help, and this is how you see them, that they're actual whales, knowing full well that Tristan has talked about his body images and how he sees himself and the fact that he hates himself, did Jack not think that him saying what he said would literally throw Tristan right back to the beginning of where him and Cassandra was trying to get past? And this is what I mean. This man is a fire starter and doesn't like to accept any responsibility for his actions and his words. So Tori gets to a point where she literally moves from that situation because it wasn't going well for Jack. It really wasn't. So Jack and Tori are basically sitting away from the group on their own, and the group are still literally firing. They can hear them from where they're sitting, that the group are literally not happy with Jack at all. And this is why I'm saying Tori has decided to put her all and her lot in with Jack, so now she's an island on her own with this man. Like, seriously. So he turns around and he tries to say that the whale comment was not malicious, it was a joke and it was banter. I'm sorry, no. When you're talking about somebody's body, you're walking into a situation where you're seeing that there's people there, especially with someone who has body issues in regards to their own image and how they see themselves, and they are bigger than your average person, and you're talking about the whales are out in force. That's not a joke, that's not banter. It really is not. It ain't. And Jack seriously doesn't compute this in his motherfucking brain in the slightest, on how words literally can impact a person. How intentful words can be in impacting a person, and it impacting Tristan to a degree. Do you know what I mean? It impacted him a lot. Jack basically says that he ain't going to be getting to know any of these people outside of this experiment. I think they don't really want to get to know Jack outside of this experiment. All Jack wants to do is put his lot in with Tori and just wants to know Tori at the end of the day. So Tori just turns around and does say to him that she was hella disappointed in the comments that he has made. So Tori does tell him at this point at last that she can't support his behaviour. I understand where she says she can't support his behaviour in the comments that he has made and in telling Lauren to shut up, because now every single time an issue comes up, it's always Jack at the motherfucking forefront. How can you keep like putting your lot in with this man and explaining it away? But she continues to do so because she ain't gonna leave this man. And this man knows she ain't gonna leave him, so she's accepted her lot in life at this point. So again, it goes to Eden. And I am literally, at this point, I was sick of the secret and the comment and this, that and the other. So you see Jaden and Eden have a conversation. Now Jaden can see that Eden is literally, her anxiety is set off. Since they've been at the retreat, her anxiety has gone to stratosphere, and he doesn't know how to deal with that situation. So he's trying to talk to her to find out what it is, what's the problem, so we can work through this. So she basically doesn't know what to tell Jaden, and I'm just like, you need to open up now. Like, this person has taken so much of your peace right now. You need to literally find your peace where you can find it. You need to decide, with this information, are you helping out a friend? Are you gonna cause more issues that doesn't need to be caused? Are you gonna literally cause an issue within your own marriage? Does this information need to come out? Yes, the information does need to come out, and she will cause more issues within her marriage with Jaden if she kept it to herself. So basically, Eden told Jaden the scenario of what went down. So she said one of the people within the experiment, one of the wives, had texted her basically and said that she wanted to borrow some tops from Eden because she was going out for dinner, but put the shh emoji as in don't tell no one. So Eden basically says that this person came back after she'd asked them, well, who you going out to dinner with? And she come back and said it's with her ex. I knew as soon as Eden said that it was Sarah. It was Sarah. Because I've been saying from the get-go, especially from the confessions task where Sarah would not allow Tim to look in her phone, and especially from the cancelled weekends, yeah, that Sarah has something going on with her ex. That's what I've always been saying all up until now, and I knew it. I knew that's what it was. So Jaden was like, we have to tell Tim, because it is a form of cheating at the end of the day. And the form of cheating is, it doesn't matter if you've done nothing with your ex. Even though Sarah slept with her ex a month before the experiment and came into it, yeah, so she still had that involvement with her ex, yeah. Even though she did that, there's still an emotional element tied to it, because at the end of the day, Sarah did not tell Tim where the fuck she was going. Sarah did not tell Tim who the fuck she was meeting in any way, shape or form. So you have this couple, Tim and Sarah, basically her bigging him up and how present they are with each other and how good they are getting on to each other, and the fact that he's stuck up for her and she loves that, and she thinks their relationship is moving on to the next level, and Tim is there with her, laughing, joking, all this shit, while then you've got another person so full of anxiety, like, I've been provided with this information, I don't know what the fuck to do with it, and I need to get it out, because I know if I don't get it out, it's going to affect my marriage with my husband, because now he knows the truth of it. And if I do get it out, it's going to destroy a person and a relationship altogether. That's why I said what Sarah did was fucked up, because at the end of the day, she knew she could tell someone like Eden that information. Bearing in mind that she'd been out with her ex, and it had been a whole motherfucking week. A whole week. So Sarah got comfortable that that shit would not get out. Anyway, that's where that episode ended. I know in the next episode, it is the dinner party, and it all kicked off. But we will get into it when I get that episode done too. So as I always say, my renegades, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos. And I'll be back again soon. Peace out.